Most barbers will spend their entire career trading their time for money, not because they're not talented and not because they don't work hard, but because they never built a personal brand. This is how to fix that. Because right now, you're probably doing everything right behind the chair. You show up early, you stay late, you take pride in every single cut you do. But at the end of the week, the number in your bank account doesn't reflect that. You're stuck. And once again, it's not because you're not good enough, but because no one outside of your four walls actually knows who you are. And that is exactly what I'm going to fix for you. But before I go any further, I need to be straight out. This is not for everyone. This is not for barbers who feel comfortable with doing the same 25 cuts per week for the same amount of money for the rest of their life. It's not for people who think posting a couple of random videos is going to miraculously change their business overnight. It's not for barbers who just want someone to film them a hype edit, hand it over and just call it a day. And it is absolutely not for someone who isn't willing to show up and put in the work alongside me. But if you are a barber who knows their worth and is tired of leaving money on the table every single week, if you've tried to post content but don't know why it's not converting into clients, if you're lying awake at night knowing that you were meant for more than just being a slave to behind the chair, then you're exactly who I built this for. My name is Jai. I'm from the west side of Melbourne. I was never the kid who fit into the classroom. I was creative, I was restless, but I was always feeling that school was holding me back from what was actually supposed to be doing. I barely scraped through my exams, except for media, which I actually got A+ in, but that probably tells you all you really need to know about me. After high school, it was very important for my mom that I go to university. She's worked in education for over 25 years, so yeah, there was a little bit of pressure. So I got into a film and television course, and for the first time ever, I was actually excited about learning. But less than a year in, I realized that I didn't want to be studying these old Russian 1800s films. I just wanted to create. So I shot my first music video and I loved every second of it. I invested into my own gear and I started Popcorn Productions, a business I'd wanted to start since I was 14, but was always too scared to. And then everything changed in the most unexpected place. I was getting a haircut at my local barbershop, talking about how pumped I was to actually be shooting on my own camera. And that's when one of the barbers asked me to make a video for his shop. And before even thinking about it, I said yes. I showed up the next week and spent the entire day shooting only for a 40-second reel because I didn't want to mess it up. But while I was there, I got talking to one of the barbers. He told me he was exhausted, burnt out, and just couldn't be bothered anymore. So I asked him, why are you even doing this? He told me he had aspirations to be one of the biggest barbers in the world. But when I asked him what was stopping him from that, he said, I don't even know where to begin. Something within me lit up at that moment. I couldn't let it go. So I started doing a little bit of research and I actually saw how hard you guys work. Long hours, physical toll, and trading every single minute for money, and how little of it was reflected in what they earned or how they were perceived. And as someone who had aspirations to make it on their own, this was my worst nightmare. So I felt an urge to help them. So I quit uni and I went all in on helping barbers to stop being stuck. When Ethan came to me, he was grinding 10+ hour days behind the chair, taking videos here and there, but nothing was converting. He had no idea about how content actually worked and how to position himself online. He felt stuck, charging less than he was worth with no clear path going forward. He had big goals though, working with brands, becoming an industry leader, educating other barbers. But honestly, at that point, it all felt like a pipe dream. But in just 45 days after I started working with him, Ethan landed a brand ambassadorship and represented that brand at the largest barber expo in Australia. He now has a platform to educate and mentor the next generation of barbers. Not in 6 months, not in a year, 45 days. And that's what personal branding can do. Not just grow your business, but change your life. And fast. If you've tried to build your brand and it didn't work, you need to hear this. It wasn't your fault. You've been told to post before and afters, to boost your videos, to copy trending formats, to sit in a group call with hundreds of other people and piece it together yourself. But here's the reality. Views do not run your business. A viral video that brings in followers and makes people think that you're the funny barber doesn't pay your rent. Posting without knowing who you're talking to, without a strategy, without any intention behind it, that's not a plan. That's just guessing. guessing. The videographers gave you hype edits. The group mentorships gave you generic advice that weren't built for your price point, area, and aspirations. None of them built that kind of trust that gets someone to book with you before they've even sent you a message. And that's your gap. And that is what the positioning mastery is designed to close. So let me run you through how this will work. Before we get posting, we get clear. Who are you talking to? What's your unique angle? What makes you one of one in your industry? We define your ideal client, nail your message, and build a foundation that everything sits on. This is where we build your brand asset stack. Scripted, intentional, short-form content that positions you as the expert. Not just a barber who posts haircuts, but someone people want to trust, follow, and book with. Your editing style, your voice, your visual identity, all of it. Now we convert. The content we've been building starts to do the selling for you. We deploy strategies that turn your attention into inbound bookings and make the decision for people to book with you feel like a no-brainer before anyone's even picked up the phone. We find what's working, double down on it, and cut out what isn't. By this time, you'll have real data, real results, and a system that keeps running without guesswork. This is how success becomes repeatable. You might say, I'm too busy for this. I'm already working 10-hour days. That is all handled for you. Scripting, editing, posting, tracking is all taken care of. The whole system is built around the fact that your time is already maxed out. But I don't know if this will work in my area. Being in a smaller market or smaller area is actually an advantage. If we position you as the go-to barber within your area, you don't need to compete nationally to fill your books. You just need your own space. And once you own it locally, the platform grows from there. I've tried stuff like this before and it didn't work. What you've tried before was not this. A videographer with no strategy is not this. A group course with 300 other barbers is not this. The difference is intention. Content built around your specific audience, your specific goals, tracked and adjusted in real time. That's what you haven't had yet. Oh, but I need to think about it. I get it and I respect it. But ask yourself honestly, how long have you been thinking about it for? If you've been stuck at the same revenue for 1 year, 2 years, 2.5 years, waiting isn't a strategy. And if the risk is what's holding you back, that's exactly why the 30-day guarantee exists. If after 30 days, you're not happy with the direction or the positioning your content is evolving into, you'll get a full refund, no questions asked. I'm scared to invest before I see results. That feeling makes complete sense. But the only way to know if this works for you is from the inside, not the outside. And that's why this guarantee exists. And the guarantee just removes that risk. You're not betting on a promise. You're testing a system with a safety net under you. Oh, but I want to keep editing my own videos. That's completely fine. And honestly, I respect that. There's a version of this for barbers who want to keep that creative control. You edit, I handle the systems, the scripting, the strategies, and the calls. The creativity stays yours. If you're a barber who's ready to stop guessing and is serious about taking that next step in their career, I want to talk to you. Not a hard sell, not a pitch, just a conversation. Like the ones I've had with every barber that I've worked with. To understand where you're at, where you want to go, and whether I can genuinely help you get there. Just click the link below and book a free call. If it's a fit, I'll show you exactly what that looks like for you specifically. If it's not, I'll point you in the right direction. Either way, you'll leave that call with more clarity than you came in with. The link is down below. I look forward to seeing you on the call.